Africa Investor Today is proudly brought to you in association with Petro SA and Afrexim Bank. Good day and a warm welcome to Africa Investor Today with myself, Avon Middleton. We start our bulletin with news on politics and economy. Congo Republic's re-elected President Denis Sassou Nguesso has named his new government, abolishing the controversial post of Prime Minister and replacing the nation's oil minister. The decision to revoke the post of Prime Minister follows heavy criticism from the opposition for the inclusion of the job in the previous government. The Foreign, Interior and Mines Ministry jobs remain unchanged, as well as the Agriculture Minister, who will oversee changes to a planned multi-million hectare land deal with South African farmers. In other news, Mauritian Prime Minister Navin Ramgoolam launched the Mauritius Jinfei Economic Trade and Cooperation Zone project. Speaking at the launch, Ramgoolam said the project was the largest integrated development project ever undertaken on the island. The first phase, starting this month, involves the development of a surface area of 70 hectares of land, road network and utilities infrastructure, industrial zone, business center and hospitality. It will be completed by 2012. And 8 Mozambican political parties have lodged complaints with the country's Constitutional Council, disputing their exclusion from the October 28th general election. The political parties allege they were unfairly excluded from the elections by the National Elections Commission, or CNE, which rejected nomination papers for some of the party's candidates because they were incomplete. The country's General Secretary, Geraldo Saranga, said that the council has 11 days from yesterday to hand down its decision on the complaints. We're going to take a short break. Up next, companies and markets news.
Redefining energy means redefining life. At the Petroleum, Oil and Gas Corporation of South Africa, our commitment to greater innovation and greener fuels has made us pioneers in the field of gas-to-liquids technology. It has also earned us worldwide recognition for producing the cleanest fuels through environmentally friendly processes. That's how we've become the international leader in diesel technology. Through pure innovation, pure energy, pure brilliance.
News on companies and markets now, where General Motors' top executive has added his voice to upbeat predictions of a revival next year in South Africa's vehicle market, which seems to be showing signs of stability. Nick Riley, the president of GM International Operations, this week said the South African vehicle market would start to bottom out by the end of this year and will gradually grow again in 2010. His upbeat prediction comes despite the dismal performance of local vehicle sales, which have declined 32.3% from the start of the year to last month. In other news, Beltone maintained its neutral rating on Egyptian mobile operator Mobinil, citing the ambiguity surrounding the future of the deal between its stakeholders Orascom Telecom and France Telecom. Mobinil, Egypt's largest mobile operator by subscribers, is currently caught in a dispute between its two main shareholders, Cairo-based regional operator Orascom Telecom and France Telecom, over Orascom's stake in Mobinil. However, the brokerage said the current standoff should be resolved between both parties in the short to medium term, given France Telecom's continued persistence to complete the deal. In Kenya, Safaricom has launched a tariff that is expected to renew price wars common in the industry. The tariff allows its subscribers to a discount based on time of calling and location and is expected to send other players back to the drawing board. We'll be back after this short break.
Afrexim Bank is Africa's leading trade finance bank, an organization dedicated to promoting African trade through credit, risk-bearing and advisory services. We pride ourselves on having local presence throughout the continent and are committed to extending our award-winning trade and project finance programs to unlock private sector development continent-wide. We invite you to become a part of our vision for a strong Africa in a changing world. If you trade within Africa, contact us to support you.
And in some news on banking and finance now, Absa yesterday became the second major bank in less than 48 hours to declare an interest in setting up shop in Nigeria. Deputy Group CEO Louis von Zoyner told business leaders in Kempton Park that ABSA was awaiting the approval of a license that would allow it to set up a representative office in Nigeria. On Tuesday, FirstRand said it wanted to set up shop in Nigeria. Despite the banking crisis in the country, the central bank's cleanup makes Nigeria one of the most attractive investment destinations for South African banks. And the Central Bank of Uganda has advised its board of directors of financial institutions to guard against the second-round effects of global economic crisis by exhibiting a high degree of transparency for policy action. Central bank officials argue that financial innovation requires greater transparency and discourse of information such that the central bank can implement appropriate regulatory policies to withstand the current global crisis. And with that, we're going to take another break. Infrastructure news up next.
Africa Investor, the leading African investment magazine, is essential reading for investors in Africa, filled with the very latest in Pan-African investment and finance news. In addition, log on to africa-investor.com to find out more about our exciting capital market infrastructure and tourism events, and our long-standing investable Africa Investor 100 Index series, which tracks over $600 billion of African equities. Doing business in Africa, you can't afford to be without Africa Investor.
And in some infrastructure news, the Rwandan government will next month buy 35,000 mobile phones for farmers, a move that is meant to bridge the information gap between farmers and buyers through the eSoko project. The eSoko is a project designed to give farmers access to updated market price information for particular commodities. Through public-private partnerships, talks are in the final stages with MTN Rwanda to procure the phones. Through this project, farmers will be able to call and identify profitable places to sell their commodities instead of dealing with middlemen who dictate the prices and in most cases exploit them. More and more South African enterprises are looking at options to give their businesses internet wings. It seems as though many are now wanting to do business online. According to Sheena Eberson, a founder member of Brand2Web, companies with no online presence are dead to many. This applies in particular to the younger market or people spending a great deal of their time on social networks such as Facebook or Twitter. Brand2Web sees increasing interest coming from the number of people who approach them to have an online persona created. It's all a question of convenience. Being available online makes doing business easier and saves time and resources. And a nuclear energy deal signed by South Africa and the US this week is expected to energize the development of the Pebble Bed modular reactor project, which was on the back burner as the government pondered the high development cost and lukewarm relations with the previous US administration. As relations warm up with President Barack Obama's administration, US Energy Secretary Stephen Chu and South African Energy Minister DPO Peters signed a bilateral agreement on cooperation in research and development of nuclear energy in Vienna. And that's how we end today's bulletin. For more information, log on to www.africa-investor.com. Thank you for joining us. Africa Investor Today is proudly brought to you in association with Petro SA and Afrexim Bank.